Hey, it's Julie, and this is the Do Business Like a Woman show. So I'm trying out a new piece of tech right now. So I'm just figuring out where the camera is. It must be over here. Yeah, I think is it over here or right over here? I don't know. Oh, it's too funny. Anyways, welcome to the Do Business Like a Woman show for a Monday. I am trying out doing a live on my new phone, so I'm just figuring out where I need to look to actually be looking in the camera. I'll figure that out afterwards. Anyways, we are talking freedom and financial independence as a coach. And you know what? I'm going to level with you. I normally create some notes ahead of the show and plan out what I want to share with you guys. But I really didn't have time to write any notes today. So I'm sitting here with a blank pad of paper. And I thought to myself, you know, just Julie, do what you're always telling your clients to do. Just go live and share from the heart. So that is what I'm going to do today. And I'm going to preface this by saying I don't have all the answers here, but I do have my own kind of experience, learnings, what I've seen along the way, and I'm going to share that with you. And I'm also going to just ask you some questions which may help you as you think through what does freedom mean to you and what does financial independence look like for you. So that's what we're doing today. If you are here with me live, leave me a comment, let me know, give me a hello, so that I can see you are here. If you're on replay, it is #replay. And as ever, please give the video a heart or a like. It helps more people see it, and I really, really appreciate it. I love reading your comments. So if you have questions, comments on this topic, jump into the conversation and let's do this. So yeah, freedom and financial independence. Well, they're two different things, but they are interlinked in my view. So I will share this with you. I do not have all the answers. I don't have it all perfectly figured out. I am not yet financially independent, and I'll give you my definition of that. Now, I have made significant progress towards being financially independent, and I'd say that my finances are in pretty good shape. But I'm going to talk more about that. And then freedom. Well, what do we mean by freedom, and how does that tie into money, time? What does it really mean? And how can we create more of that? So I will share that I am a lot more free than I used to be. And what I mean by that is the life that I'm living now, the lifestyle I have, the business I have, was something I only dreamed of, you know, a few short years ago. Six years ago, I was still working in a job at an animal charity as the head of marketing. I'd already launched my coaching business once, but for those of you that know my story, that didn't go so well, and I actually ended up working back at a job at an animal charity where I met my dog Rosie, so silver lining, and I was head of digital marketing there. But I hated being an employee, and to me, I didn't feel free. So I can remember then, and even before then, you know, just having this craving inside of me for freedom. Freedom has always been such a huge value of mine, and I always wanted to know, how can I create this feeling of freedom inside of me as I live my life and as I do my business and connect with people. Hi Terry, good to see you. And so that was always my question, and that is why I launched my coaching business in the first place around 9 years ago. And I went traveling with my husband at the time. We were traveling around France and Italy. We were house sitting, and I was coaching, but really I was in a feast and famine cycle with my business. So some months I'd sign a client and we'd literally be feasting at the French farmhouse table with all the cheeses and French sticks and tomatoes. The next month, no clients, and we wouldn't have the gas money to get to the next house sitting gig. So although we were free in some sense, you know, I was traveling, I loved traveling, I loved seeing new places. It was an adventure, and I was doing what I wanted to do, right? I was living my dream, but there was also a lot of pressure that came with that. And I ended up in a lot of debt because my business was not yet able to sustain the level of spending and support us both, because I was the only one working at the time while we traveled. So we ended up coming back to the UK. I went through a divorce, and at my low point, I was back in my parents' tiny spare bedroom. And that was when I got that job at the animal charity. So there were aspects of that lifestyle where I felt really free. You know, I can remember walking in France, in rural France, and just the fields around me and just the feeling of freedom. So I think being true to myself, like living my value, having adventures, exploring places. You know, we went to the beach and we'd have picnics on the beach, and it was so fun, you know, and we had a motorhome for a while. So that sense of adventure and freedom, for me, they go hand in hand. So, you know, not wanting to lose that, but at the same time, I needed to figure out this client creation piece, how to sign and enroll high ticket clients, and how to actually have my business be profitable and viable. And that's when I relaunched my business, and I actually figured out how to create clients and, you know, Do Business Like a Woman was born. The Warrior S framework, client creation, was born. And now that's what I teach, because I did figure it out. And I can remember working really hard, and I bought my first property, which is now a buy-to-let. It now has a tenant. And I was really focused on work and creating money and financial freedom. And that's always been a really big thing for me too, because in my mind, having the money equals choice equals freedom, right? So for me, creating wealth, creating financial freedom has always been a high value as well, but only because of what I perceive that it can buy for me, what it can do for me. For some people, I know that it's like to do with family, and mine is too. I love to be able to go and visit my family and friends and ultimately do what I want to do, right? Isn't that the crux of it? We want the freedom to be able to wake up each day and choose how we spend our time. Hi Sharon, good to see you. What's really interesting for me is that as I built this business and I finally created my first six-figure year and I started to really have some success in my coaching business, I loved it, and I also felt like I was losing freedom too, because a business takes some running, and there were things I needed to do to show up every day and do. And I love my work, I love my clients, I love my business, it's part of my mission. At the same time, I felt like I lost the level of freedom. And I know there's this like whole thing out there, oh, just automate everything and blah, 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 and tech funnels and webinars. It doesn't work for me. One of my high values is connection, relationships, human to human. We were just talking about this on my program, Fierce, Feminine and Free, with the ladies in that, and we were talking about AI, and we were saying how for us, it just doesn't cut it, because we really value that soul connection, that heart and soul that only really humans have, and that realness and that genuine connection. So for me, those are high values too. And so I tried the whole automated route, right? I spent the first lockdown, setting up a big techie funnel and creating a webinar and spending loads of money on Facebook ads. It got me precisely in my business. My business was already doing well with the organic marketing that I was doing, but all of that techie stuff just slowed me down. I got it in my head that that is what I had to do. Sorry, I just kicked the light stand. That is what I had to do to grow and scale my business. In actual fact, what I needed to do was just do more of what was working, right? So yeah, I'm still trying to figure out where the camera is. Oh goodness, tech fail. So yeah, for me, I really value high touch, I value human connection, and that is now how I have my business set up. So whenever I do anything from marketing to the client, no-cost client creation experience that I run, it is all about connecting with people and supporting people human to human, and then right into our paid programs. It's all very high touch. But of course, that does take away a level of freedom. It means I have certain commitments in my calendar. I could just up and go to the beach, but it takes a little bit more planning. That's okay. You know, I still have a lot of freedom within my calendar, because aside from my appointments and I have my set coaching days that I do, if I want to get up and just go take the dog for a walk, I can do that. And so I have a lot of freedom, and I'm very, very appreciative of that. So much more than I did when I was in a job and I was an employee, and you had to be in the office certain hours and at your desk certain hours, and even, you know, justify if you wanted to go and take a walk or what have you. So, you know, I am very, very aware that I have a lot of freedom, and I'm very grateful and appreciative for that. And there's another level for me, and what I've been playing, and it's not always necessarily about more and bigger. I do believe in building wealth, and I, as a person, have seen in the coaching industry, you know, everyone's so focused on income, earn more, 10K months, 100K months, whatever. And there's a lot of hype that goes with that. The truth is, a lot of those people are not super profitable behind the scenes. So they may have a 6-figure a month business, but they're spending like 99,000 on ads, for example. So, you know, do we really want that and all the activity that comes with that? For me, I'm actually quite a minimalist, so I like to keep my business quite lean. And what I mean by that is just I'm not interested in having a massive team, or like, I'm quite happy to earn multiple 6 figures, maybe even 7, who knows? But really, I'm not looking to create a huge organization with multiple team members that I'm responsible for. That is not a game I want to play. It directly conflicts with my value of kind of freedom and being a bit of a free spirit. So I've got these two things going on. I've got this ambition with my business and my mission, but I've also got this kind of yearning to be free. And so it's kind of marrying those together and finding that sweet spot. And maybe you feel the same, you know, for all of us, I think it really is knowing what our true values are and what our soul is calling for. And I've always been someone that, okay, in the coaching industry, yes, let's earn money, let's have profitable businesses, let's serve our hearts out. And I believe in that. I believe in service. And when we earn that money, hey, how about we invest some of it in assets, and we don't just spend it all on like champagne and Jimmy Choos or whatever, but like spend it on what you value, yes, but let's do some good with it. Let's also be smart women. Let's invest in things like property, you know, stocks and shares, index tracker funds. That's what I invest in, index tracker funds and property. Let's take some of that money and channel it into assets, which can then feed us and build our net worth, so we're not constantly on the income train of just like, I got to earn more, I got to get the next sale. That is exhausting. It's exhausting. So I'm really, really up for sustainability, and something I've been playing with in my own life is balancing my yearning for simplicity with offering kind of high-end coaching and the different things I offer. And I'll tell you this, I've had a little bit of a, I don't know if it's a struggle but I have been conflicted around paying for my own high-level coaching, because that is a big chunk of money every month that I could be investing. So this is something I've gone backwards and forwards over the years. Now, I am investing because I'm investing in myself. And since I have been a coach, I've always paid for coaching. I fully believe in investing in ourselves, developing ourselves. And to me, that is so important. I wouldn't be here if I hadn't done that. And at this point in the journey, there is a question in my mind. Is this big chunk I'm investing every month in private coaching actually the best way that I can use that money right now? At the moment, I still am, but I'm being honest, this is something that I've been conflicted about. And then I'm like, well, but I'm a coach and I believe in the value of coaching, And I expect my clients to pay me high ticket for the value that they get and the results they create through my programs. But then I'm thinking the difference is my programs teach them something really specific, which is how to create clients, right? And how to put the processes in place in your business to have clients on repeat and to have that income coming in. So that's the difference. But as I said, this session was really about me sharing honestly, rather than trying to persuade you that I have all the answers, which I don't. But that's where I'm currently at. And something I'm doing is I am building my wealth, and that has drastically changed. You know, my net worth used to be zero, and that wasn't that many years ago. And I can remember, you know, again, when I was traveling around France and Italy, looking at my net worth being zero and trying to get my business going and trying to earn money as a coach, investing money in my own coaching and business support. And it felt like I was never going to get anywhere, and it was so hard. Today, my net worth has grown significantly with the property and the things that I've invested in, but it hasn't been easy, right? And knowing how to kind of manage that money and where to channel it. But I am very, very grateful and appreciative, you know, for what I have been able to create, and I'm not done yet. My next adventure is I'm getting ready to buy another property, and it'll be a bigger house this time in the north of England, because house prices up here are way cheaper, y'all. So if you're location independent, bonus, you can choose where you want to live. So I'm going to buy a house, but it will be a bigger house, and I'm going to rent out a couple of the rooms, a couple of lodges, one on Airbnb. And they call it house hacking, but it basically means like your lodgers and your Airbnb pay for your mortgage and then some. So you can actually create some profit. Because if you think about it, one of our biggest expenses is rent or mortgage, right? So if we can eliminate that, imagine the pressure that takes off you and off your business if you are growing a coaching business. You know, imagine if you didn't have to make sales, you do it because you want to. How fun is that? It's a whole different energy, right? So yeah, that is what I have to share with you. But I think, you know, financial independence is one thing, and I think it's a lofty goal that we can all be working towards, and there's no reason why you can't create it. If I could create it from absolute zero and like coming from quite a poor background, you can for sure. And if you need to know how to get clients, reach out to me. I can support you with that. In terms of freedom, I actually believe that's an internal job, right? I don't believe it is to do with our circumstances out here. Now, of course, we can still do things to improve our circumstances so that we feel more free, so that we are the boss of our own time, so that we are creating wealth. We can decide what projects and clients we want to work with. But ultimately, freedom, as I'm sure Nelson Mandela taught us, is an inside job. So that feeling of freedom comes from in here, comes from in here. So no one can take that away. No matter what someone does to me or does to you, or the circumstances out here, I can choose to feel free inside. And interestingly, from a quantum viewpoint, when we feel it in here, it will start to appear out here. So feeling it first, you know, how can I feel free right now? And even when I was back in that job, I worked on that. How can I feel free right now? What can I do, right? And so much of that is mindset. It's how we think about things. It's how we think about the circumstances. You can always choose your thoughts. But interestingly, when you choose your thoughts, that will change your feeling. And then when you get in a better feeling state, that will change your circumstances out here. And so the freedom really starts inside. Now, of course, do some smart stuff in your business. Come work with me, get some clients, do some smart stuff with your money. But freedom is an inside job. Do you agree? Like, what do you think? Hi, Shika. Good to see you. How are you? What do you think? What does freedom mean to you? What is a freedom lifestyle for you? For me, I've come to realize it's pretty simple. I don't need loads and loads of stuff, and I don't want loads and loads of stuff. That just feels heavy to me. I want to have a good life. You know, I want quality of life. I want the freedom to go out and enjoy the countryside. I want good food, water. I want deep relationships with my family and friends, and I want to earn money doing something meaningful to me. Aside from that, I do not need loads of fancy gadgets. I don't need a super expensive house. And to me, that just feels like burdens, right? So those are my ramblings for today. Let me know how you found that and what freedom is for you. And I'd love to hear your thoughts and feelings. Bye for now. Lots of love. Oh, where's the off button? There.